to the morning show with me, Kelly Latimer.
And me, the other Latimer. Barbara. I have a name. This is your one-stop shop for all things fun, fitness, and fantastic.
What? Fantastic.
I don't know, I just wanted to use the same letter. Anywho, it's Tough Nut Thursday, and we've got the best of the best coming in to help us adjust to our new normal during this period.
Absolutely. We've got a stellar lineup coming your way, so make sure you stay tuned, not just for the next hour, but all the way through this afternoon as well. At 3 p.m., we've got House Athletics teaching you how to lean it out. Plus, there's also a cooking show coming your way.
There is also a cooking show with Ben Logan, Watch Your Cooking, to help inspire you for your dinner plans tonight.
But we also have lots going on in our 1 hour show with you. Starting now, we've also got two guests. We've got Shrika Aljunid and Lim Tong Hai in the studio to chat with us. And trust me, as your resident mum on the block with a hyperactive 3-year-old, we're also bringing you the best hacks to keep your little ones occupied while you have the most efficient break possible.
But first, let's dive into the necessary business, your updates on all things COVID-19. No fluff, no rumors, just your need-to-knows straight from the source.
Now, if you're a little bit like me and you wait up for the gov.sg chat updates, you'll know that the later it comes, the higher the number. Now, I'm not going to say that this is a good thing, guys. This is not a good thing. It is not a competition. We should not be aiming for a higher number. We should be doing everything that we can to bring those numbers down. Let's take a look at the numbers. I'm not even going to say a record number because that sort of insinuates that it's a good thing as well. 447 new cases yesterday. And whilst only 38 were local cases in the community, 404 coming from the dormitories, we all need to do our part to keep Singapore safe. Now, as of yesterday, 15th April, Sports Singapore issued a latest advisory on sport and physical exercise and activities for the control period of 7th April to 4th May. So these are all the additional measures in place, basically outlining what it is you can and can't do, when you need to make sure you're wearing a mask, and at what point do you need to wear a mask, or at what point can you take your mask off to do physical heavy exertion whilst you're exercising. So go check out the advisory. We will be posting the link to that on our Facebook pages, so look out for that.
Now, the good news is that the country's fatality rate still remains very, very low. So as of now, we've got only 10 fatalities and 41 people got discharged yesterday, which was great. So at least that number's going up. Just a PSA, do be wary of people impersonating as MOH officers. There have been some scam calls going around. If you do get a suspicious call that you think is a little bit dodge, please verify by calling the MOH hotline at 1-800-333-9999. But if you're just bored, you can join us each morning and drop us a comment online.
Yeah, absolutely. That being said, though, we absolutely love hearing from you. So whatever you want to say, you can say to us, okay? We've had some lovely and very interesting responses online on our Facebook pages and our YouTube page as well. So keep all of that coming. We would really love for you to just hang out with us, and that means having a little bit of two-way interaction.
That's right. And today's topic is, what is your favorite thing about staying at home? The fact that you can attend Zoom meetings representing Team No Pants.
Or how about the fact that you can roll out of bed and 30 seconds later you're technically at work?
Or the increasing duration between your hair washes.
Wait, when was the last time you washed your hair?
Oh, look, it's time for us to take a quick break. And when we come back, we've got physio Shrika Aljunid, and she will be teaching us how to really prep ourselves for all our stay-at-home workouts. Stay tuned. welcome back to the morning show with, well, at this point, it's just me. Kelly's popped off for a little bit so I can get some one-on-one time with this superstar. We have Shrika Al-Junid in the studio with us today. She's none other known than the kind of mama hen of the Team SG athletes. Shrika, thanks for joining us. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, I've been a physiotherapist for about 20 over years. Yeah, so I've started off at the Singapore Sports Council, now known as Sports SG, working with the national athletes, treatment and prevention and stuff like that, and traveled with them to major games like SEA Games, Asian Games, Olympics. Now I have my own clinic, running with a partner, a private clinic, yeah.
What's that called?
The Physio Link at the Plaza.
Oh, very nice. Now, when it comes to physio, obviously at the moment it's deemed a non-essential service.
Yeah.
But a lot of us only visit the physio after we've been injured.
Yeah.
And I think with age, a lot of us get injured a lot more easily.
Yes.
Like I'm walking down the street and I roll my ankle.
Yep.
Not the most careful person, I think. But I think it's very important in this time when everyone's doing workouts at home to make sure we can prevent so that there isn't this big boom of physio visits as soon as this whole thing is over.
Yep.
What can people do to make sure that in this time where they're working out by themselves at home, following these HIIT workouts, they're not getting injured or doing anything that could jeopardize?
I think we need to think about the basic stuff like warm up, stretches and cool down as well, even at home. Yeah, so we're going to talk about warm up. Why is it important? Because we need to increase the blood circulation, get the muscles a bit more pliable and stuff like that, so that these are the stuff which will prevent injuries from happening. Yeah, so stretches, there are two types of stretches.
Yeah, so we've got like
static
your static stretches
and
and,
the
your dynamic.
dynamic.
What's the main difference between these two,
Yeah,
and when should
so-
we do each one?
So static is more like, as the name says it, you have to hold the stretch, and usually we do isolate one muscle at a time. And this is more relaxing and static, so that's how we bring our heart rate down, so that's more done after your workout.
So I can kind of like chill and watch
chill,
Netflix
yeah,
while I
yeah.
do a static stretch. Okay, cool. I can deal with
so
that.
relaxing. So what we want to do before we start your workout is more dynamic. So because that helps to increase the blood circulation and increase your heart pumping and stuff like that to, in a sense, to help with the workout. Okay.
So do you have any, let's take for example, I mean, a lot of people are doing HIIT workouts nowadays. So, it's all very high dynamic movements to begin with. What kind of dynamic warm-ups should we be doing to gear ourselves up for these high intensity workouts?
Dynamic workouts can also be specific to what you are doing. Like, for example, if you are doing more upper body stuff, you can do more upper body dynamic warm-ups. Or if you're doing more like running or something like that, you can do more legs, or you can incorporate both together as well, or even with the spines and stuff like that. So for dynamic, it's no hard and fast rule compared to static.
Yeah.
So we can do whatever we want as long as you're moving your muscles, your joints and stuff like that.
It's just kind of trying to get you limber. Okay,
Yeah.
maybe we can have some examples on, a couple of dynamic stretches that we can all take home. And if we're going to do the lean out with the house athletics later on this afternoon, given that that's pretty high intensity, these are definitely some dynamic stretches that you'll want to incorporate before your workout with them.
Yep, I'll show you some stuff that you can do, at home, so in a small area kind of stuff.
Confined space.
So simple stuff.
Okay.
Yep. So
Yeah, let's go for it.
So upper limb stuff. Okay, just simple arm rotations. You can do alternate. You can do both at the same time. Okay, you can do side stuff, and then you can incorporate your spine at the same time. So thoracic rotations as well. Yep.
And this kind of like gets the back engaged,
Yes.
loosens up the spine a little bit to make sure you don't throw out your back halfway through.
That's right.
Okay.
Because a lot of people tend to injure their backs as well while doing workouts as well. Yep. So you can incorporate with legs as well. So you can do a forward lunge, while doing your arms sideways as well.
Side lunges.
Yep, side lunges.
Okay.
Yep.
So we're really working on making sure that the hips get warmed up as well.
So this one, there's the adductors, the hip rotators as well. So yep. And then you can also do calf and hamstrings.
Okay, so
Yep.
you want to get that nice
Yep.
stretch down the back.
Yeah, you can also do rotations with it as well. So just rotate your spine.
Alternate.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Okay, well that's a pretty good guideline when it comes to warming up for the dynamic stretches. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. That's a great takeaway. We are going to take a short break. When we come back, it's all things pom-pom for the kiddos. In the meantime, don't forget to give us a little holler in the comments section on what's your favorite thing about staying at home.
Step right up, draw the next card. You're one of the brighter animals, so get along with everybody else. Is this ship sinking? I've been thinking. Are we sinking? I've been thinking. Been a little time to get along. One of these days you're gonna feel it. One of these days I'm gonna feel this haze. And a wake-up call, throw the next up. Be one of a kind, original. Don't be another sign of the times. Fight. Wanna know the secret? We get on. Wanna know the secret? We get on. Try to find the feeling we belong. It's all for one and all for fun.
Hello and welcome back to the morning show on Get Active TV, bringing you workouts, food shows, sanity checks, all in one channel. If you are tuning in online currently, like Peru is at the moment, hello to Peru. We're just shouting out to people who are tuning in and engaging with us online. So if you want to tell us something, or if you're just really bored at home, then feel free to comment away.
We're coming up, we're going to create the cutest setup that will not only let the kiddos' creativity run wild, but also hopefully keep them occupied for at least an hour. I mean, you guys deserve a break, let's be honest.
Okay, I love how she's being so optimistic about it actually lasting an hour. Half an hour, okay? It's probably going to be half an
Tops.
hour realistically. This activity has two parts to it, one for the younger kids and then one for the older kids. So what you need to start is some masking tape. I've got my handy dandy bag here. So what we're
Your
going to
mum
do
bag.
is, yeah, my mum bag. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be putting out some lines on the table. You can do this on the floor, you can do this on a table, wherever you've got a surface which you're comfortable with tape being on. Essentially what we're going to do for our first activity is to encourage your children to work with organization and putting things away and putting things in their place, which is always a good thing if you're trying to make sure that that your kids' toys are tidy. So
Also, try not to use heavy duty tape, like the
Duct tape.
really strong duct tape, because it's going to be a pain to remove. So opt for the less sticky ones, masking tape, that's all good.
Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do, especially if you've got a younger kid, is just do a straight line. So a straight line down like that. If you've got kids that are a little bit more advanced, if they're older, then what you can do is you can start getting creative and maybe doing zigzag lines.
Can we do that?
Like that. Yeah, you do that. You've got longer arms, I think. Zigzag lines. And ultimately, what you're trying to do is create a guide for them so that they can follow this line. Now, the other day, Sienna very cutely decided that she wanted to bring out all her frontliners. So she has all her Duplo frontline health heroes and essential workers that she decided to call out into action. So all of our guys who are traffic controllers, our doctors, our policemen, and all of that. And essentially, what we're going to do is we're going to line them up. She also insisted this morning that I was allowed to take her Sylvanian families.
Oh, wow.
These
are precious.
These are precious. This is her daddy bear, so I was allowed to take daddy to work today. And this is
baby
Sienna. So this is Sienna Squirrel. So I was allowed to bring her out. So essentially what you want to do with your kiddo is try to encourage them to line them up. So what we do is we put them all in order on the straight line if you've got younger kids, like so. Or if you've got older kids, what you can do is encourage them to put them on the zigzag lines as well. So you can put them on different
you want them
points.
all.
Yeah, you could put them on different points. You could sort of get them all queued up just like this. And it's a great way to get them to focus and also to get them to concentrate on being very specific and precise. And these are all fine motor skills that will eventually help them. Wow.
Distancing.
Safe distancing. That's right. Okay, we're going to safe distance our guys. There we go.
Yeah.
1 meter apart, guys.
Yay.
Although, fun fact, 1 meter apart should supposedly be, especially if you're exercising outdoors, should be up to 20 meters apart if you are on a bike and riding fast. Did you know that?
No.
Didn't know that, right?
Wow.
Yes, exactly. Because can
don't
you
have a
imagine if
bike.
someone coughed whilst they're riding a bike and sort of like you
Oh,
cough
and it
and
just
then it
kinda
goes
like
and it slipstreams behind you and apparently it can travel up to about 20 meters. Oh, gross. So wear a mask, guys. All right, so that's part one of the exercise.
Okay.
Part two is you take away all your frontliners.
We can
Safe distancing.
safe distance them, yep.
Yeah, we'll just spread them out there like that. And you can go and find pom-poms.
Pom-poms.
Now, I'd picked these up from Daiso
When it was still open.
when it was still open, yes. So I've had these on hand. So we can just whack open a couple of these. And Barbara, go on then, you can tell us what you want us to do. Do you want the big ones or do you want the smaller ones, the cute ones?
Big ones, because they're just easier to use,
Okay.
let's be honest. Okay, so for this little segment for the kids, I mean, if you tuned in and saw us playing with the caterpillars the other day, same concept. You want them to execute control when it comes to racing. So if you have 2 kids, then you can do 2 lines, 3 lines. You can build a whole racetrack at this point. So you just want a little bit of controlled execution in blowing into the straw and making the pom-pom move. On the line.
That's
We went-
pretty good.
We went really quiet there. Concentration was real. And
that's
then
pretty
you've got
good.
the zigzag line.
It's actually harder when you
I think
have
the
something with no friction. It's easier
I was
when you've
gonna
got the
say
spiky pom-poms.
spiky ones are definitely a cheat for me.
But ultimately, what we're trying to encourage is we're trying to get control of the breath, which is very important, not just for daily life and making sure, but kids tend to get very worked up and very hyperactive and excited.
Yeah.
So it's a great exercise to actually, especially if they've just been running around and physically exerting, it's a great exercise to do to help them calm down because they have to forcibly control their breath in order to execute this exercise. Because if you've seen a 3-year-old or a 4-year-old or an 8-year-old even after they've been working out, running around, you'll know that they end up sort of semi-hyperventilating.
Semi-hyperventilating,
That's
yes.
your current state of your mind in general.
I did teach Sienna this super cute little trick from the movie, I think it was Bad Boys, like one of the original Bad Boy or Rush Hour or something like that. Anyway, the part where they go, "Hoosa." So like, if you want to make it fun for your kids as well, just get them to stroke their earlobes because it feels great and just go, "Hoosa."
Although, fun fact,
Hoosa.
Sienna started doing it the other day and pulled on her ears. And then my mum, this was obviously before circuit breaker happened, my mum looked at her and went, "What are you teaching her to do to pull her ears? Why is she pulling her ears? Stop it." But there you
My
go.
bad.
Anyway, so a great little way to amuse and occupy your children, teaching them control, teaching them how to be a bit more organized,
Yeah.
and making sure that they put away their toys in a neat lineup. So there you go. There you go. If you do end up trying this activity, please do tag us as well. Or if you have fun with this at home, let me know and make sure you're tagging us Get Active TV so that we can see how it all went down.
Now, speaking of tagging, we appreciate all your responses on the Get Active TV Facebook page in the comments section. Hit us up, let us know what you think. If there's any challenge or any particular type of activity that you've seen that you want us to try, let us know. We'll be more than happy to experiment with it on the show.
So far, your favorite comments have been good morning. So it's nice to see that you guys are awake and alert. But yes, feel free to join in the conversation as well. We are going to head off for a short break though. But when we return, footballing legend Lim Tong Hai joining us in studio to share more about the coaching situation here currently with COVID-19. Don't go away.
Welcome back. Thanks for joining us here on The Morning Show. We hope you're having a splendid Tough Nut Thursday so far.
Speaking of tough nuts, Lim Tong Hai, footballing legend from that incredible squad of '94 that got us the Malaysia Cup. That's a title that you're probably never, ever going to shake, is it?
Yeah, happy to have that then. Good morning. Good morning.
Good
Hi.
morning.
Hi. Yeah.
So how are you dealing with circuit breaker at the moment? I mean, this is probably the first time you've come out of your house.
Yeah, we hardly get out of the house though. At most, I probably go for a run, but in a safe area along the road. Yeah.
And now everyone's got to wear their masks and everyone's...
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But how's it been for you? How are you dealing with it emotionally?
Well, I try. While at home, we are still working, and I'll try to take little breaks in between, and so that you're not just focusing on the computer alone. And it's always good to actually take some time out to actually exercise and to keep yourself mentally,
Mentally okay, right?
So tell us a little bit about what you do nowadays.
Okay, I'm now with ActiveSG, the Active SG in academies and club, looking at the program development.
And how are you feeling about the impact of COVID-19 on, coaches, clubs, academies, both private and public? How's it affected you guys?
I think nobody have expected this, and well, it has also expedited a lot of processes. Coaches are now learning to cope, to teach online now. There's no more of a physical contact and not physically there, and everybody is now trying to go online and teach, and they come up with programs. Some of them actually plan, they have a pre-recorded program for the participants of the program to follow. Some of us are actually doing it online, live, IG live, Facebook live.
Yeah.
And so the coaches are still trying to engage the participants right now by various means.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so partly also the coach also can take this opportunity to actually relook at some of the programs that they are doing. Have they been, of course they are doing pretty well, but they can relook into it and see could it be done better?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's been a good point for reevaluation,
Yes.
rethinking a lot of strategies, how we approach problems, and prepare for the future especially.
True. Especially, right now, most of us are supposed to stay at home. Take this time to actually relook into how we can do things differently. And then when hopefully by the COVID is over, in the near future, and then so that when you come out, you're prepared to roll out your 2.0, 3.0 program, and then you can make it even better.
But as a former professional athlete, right, you know the importance of camaraderie, of teams coming together,
Yes.
of teams training together.
Yes.
And obviously, you're really not getting that at this point in time. What do you think the impact is going to be on our sports industry coming out of circuit breaker, or looking beyond COVID-19? Obviously, all the coaches are doing whatever they can to train, but there is going to be an impact on the results.
athletes.
There is going to be an impact on training. So what do you think that impact is going to be?
I think we can look at it as if like we are coming off from an off season, So when you are during an off season, you probably will not be interacting much with your teammates. In fact, your training will be toned down a little bit, a lot more. So, and everybody will be expecting, we are not expecting you to perform at that level the moment COVID is over. And you know that in fitness, once you stop training for about 7 days, your fitness have probably dropped quite substantially.
It's use it or lose it, right?
Yeah. And then if it's within 2 weeks or 14 days or so, it's immense, And that's why you take a long time for you to bring it up to speed. But that said, it doesn't mean that you cannot do it carry on exercising at home and keep yourself fit.
I think I saw on Instagram, especially sort of Amanda Lim, Martina Lindsay Veloso, all their coaches were dividing and conquering all their equipment so that they could actually take stuff back home and work on that physical fitness from the comfort of their own home. And I think that's a great way to try and distribute the resources that we have and ensure that our athletes are still kept at a certain level at least.
Because certain times at home, of course, when you're exercising at home, you have to make sure that the safe confine, the environment is safe enough to exercise and make sure to stay hydrated all the time. The other time is, if you are working out at home, there are only certain things that you can work with. And then I think it's a good idea to actually have your equipment with you, and then at least you can do alternative options, different methods of exercising.
Awesome. Now, as a former athlete and someone who still looks very trim and fit, I think it's important that we set a good example. And on Monday, we actually had one of our physios take part in this challenge.
That's true.
And it is called the Tissue Paper Mobility Challenge. So we're going to take a quick look at this video to show you what it is you're going to be doing, because you said you're game for this. So as part of our trending segment, we're going to see whether Lim Tong Hai can do the mobility challenge. So here we go. The object of the exercise is to keep, in this case, it's going to be a shoe. She's going to be doing a shoe, but we're going to give you a toilet roll because, Singaporeans hoarding toilet roll and all of that.
Yup.
So you basically have to keep it up whilst you roll over onto your front, bring the leg back, and then recover. You reckon you can do it? We're going to try. We're going to try.
So Declan got as far as
balancing it.
it on his shoe. That was it.
So if you can do half a round, you're better.
I
You up for the
probably
challenge?
will have to start cracking on.
Okay, I'm
Do
going to
those
go and
warm-ups.
get the toilet paper.
Yeah, we've got a
Oh
toilet
my.
roll on standby.
Here we go.
This is our
Wow.
trending toilet paper.
There you go.
Okay.
We're not wasting, we're reusing the same one.
Exactly. So we're going to
the
give you the
floor is
spot on the
yours.
floor. Come
how
on
do I
then.
do it then?
Okay, so lie down on the floor first.
Face down? Is it?
No, so
How do
on
I
your
sit
back
then?
first.
On my back, yeah? Oh my god. Oh my.
You're too long for this. Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
Is it
I'll
this way?
help you out.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
So then
Okay.
leg up. Okay,
it's
we're going to
go
say
off
that he
very
is
soon.
disadvantaged because he's wearing jeans. Okay, so now you need to try and keep that foot up
This.
straight,
And then roll over
and
to
then
your
roll
left.
over to your left.
Yeah, so you kind of want to do a little bit of a twist.
Twist.
That's not too bad.
Twist. Come on, twist. Hey, he's actually doing really
He's
well.
not
He's
bad.
further. Oh, so close.
To be fair, that was the furthest we've got so far.
Ladies and
Wow.
gentlemen, let's give it up for Lim Tong Hai.
Thank you.
Absolutely amazing
Thank
effort.
you,
Thank
thank
you
you, thank
so
you.
much for joining us and being
Pleasure.
such a good
Pleasure.
sport.
Yeah. I'll go back and try this. I'll go back and try this.
you're
then.
gonna practice,
I'm going to practice
it.
this. Yeah.
Send
yeah,
us in a
alright.
video when it's successful, and
All
then we'll
right.
play that.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll
okay,
play
we'll
it.
do
If you
that.
can do it, we will play it for everyone to see to
I'll
prove
try
that
it.
you
I'll try
rose
it.
up to the
Yes,
challenge.
yes.
All right,
Alright.
we're going to go for a short break. When we come back, we've got a real tearjerker for you. Well, me at least. But don't go anywhere.
Step right up, draw the next card. Be one of the brighter animals, so get along with everybody else. Is the ship sinking? I've been thinking. Are we sinking? I've been thinking. Been a little time to get along. One of these days you're gonna feel it. One of these days I'm gonna feel this haze. A wake-up call, throw the next up. Be one of a kind, original. Don't be another sign of the times. Fight. Wanna know the secret? We get on. Wanna know the secret? We get on. Try to find the feeling we belong. It's all for one and all for fun.
And we're back. It's the morning show with Kelly and Barbara. I hope your Thursday is going well so far. Now, I've been seeing a lot more people on the socials getting very creative in the kitchen. I think everyone's gearing up to join MasterChef when this whole thing is over.
Absolutely.
But I'm not going to lie, the most tedious thing about making a meal is the prep work.
Yes, I completely agree.
I mean, the creative part is great, but it does get a little bit tiresome to constantly have to chop and stuff. We've got all sorts of machines, but what I thought we would do today is teach you how to chop onions the easiest way possible. Now, the reason why I'm doing this and Kelly isn't is because I have contact lenses in. Therefore, it is a lot easier. So apparently you don't cry when you've got contact lenses in.
Yeah, so whenever I'm chopping onions, like I don't know about you, but one of the things that I do to try and stop me from crying is to make sure that after I take off the skin, I actually wash the onion, because what happens, I'm going to move further away. What happens when
got a
you
bigger knife.
chop the onions, it actually releases, wow, it releases the juice inside, and that's what sprays everywhere. But by actually washing it, then it kind of retains it and
Tough
stops it
Nut
from
Thursdays.
flying
It should be
everywhere.
called Tough Nut Onions.
Tough onion, yeah. If she cuts herself, well,
We have
yeah.
first aid
Yeah.
somewhere.
What happened to your knife? This is a terrible knife.
I got it from, oh, there we go. Okay, we're in. Okay, right. So, we're just going to do half because, I mean, that's all we need at this point. So you've got your two rooty bulby bits. I'm really not going into technicalities here. You only want to remove one of them in order to get a good cut. So you get rid of that.
So wait, do you not peel off the skin?
I do. It's
Oh, okay.
easier once you've removed the edge to then peel off potentially some of the onion as well. Okay, so what you want to do is keep this bulby section on, and then from there you can start your cutting, but instead of cutting horizontally, you kind of want to cut vertically, but stopping and leaving that to keep everything attached. So you're just gonna, yeah, slice. Again, clearly I'm no master chef. Yeah, if you can just make sure
And make sure your knife is sharp, guys. I mean, I think if we've learned anything from today's segment, it's that you actually need to have a sharp knife.
Yeah, okay. Apparently, fun fact, aluminium helps you sharpen scissors.
Really?
Yeah, like you just need to cut aluminium and it will sharpen. But that's a higher life hack for another day. Okay, so now you've basically got all the bits cut this way. Now you can very easily get your little dice bits without it slipping and sliding everywhere.
That's super cool.
So, who needs onions for lunch? Onions are great, actually.
Yeah, there's actually a lot of benefits of eating onions. So I thought I would prepare some fun facts for you about eating onions and everything that's so great about them. So first up, apparently onions have antibacterial properties, so they can fight off potentially dangerous bacteria such as E. coli, and onion extract.
coli?
Yeah, E. coli. And onion extract has actually been shown to inhibit the growth of Vibrio cholerae, which is actually what causes cholera. It can also help to control your blood sugar, which means that if you got diabetes or type 2 diabetes, then it's actually a great thing for you to eat. A study actually showed that if you eat 100 grams of onions, then it actually reduces the amount of sugar in your blood. Super good.
Okay.
They are also nutrient dense, okay? It means that for the amount of calories that you have, they actually pack in a whole load of vitamins and minerals, and apparently one onion has just 44 calories, but gives you vitamins, minerals, fiber, especially vitamin C. So lots and lots of benefits of eating onions.
All right. Onion life hack number 2. I feel like I shouldn't be waving this knife around. So you've got all your chopped onions. You can chop it more if you want. But if you'll notice, a lot of our chopping boards have this hole at the very end of it. And the best thing about it, okay, a lot of the time, let's say if your chopping board is full with onion stuff, or whatever you've chopped up, and you've got a small bowl, well, for example, if you had a small bowl and you're scraping it off, half of it just goes everywhere on the tabletop. So apparently what people do is they use this like whole thing to pop all your bits into the bowl.
My mind is blown, guys. This
Ta-da!
amazing.
That is Barbara's fun fact hack for surviving COVID and all things related.
And just remember, if you wear contact lenses, then you'll be absolved
Protected.
and protected from onion splatter and juice, whereas me not wearing contacts means that I'm just going to sit there and cry in a corner.
Oh, yeah, well, anyway.
All right.
Okay, so we are going to go for a quick little break before we launch into our final segment, which involves lunch and a little bit of the mindful minutes as well. That being said, I hope you had an onion good time with us on this segment. This is why I'm not a comedian. Okay, all right, moving on. We'll be right back. and welcome back to the morning show. It's the home stretch.
That is absolutely right. No pun intended, because you all should be at home at least. Are you hungry yet?
I am hungry. So yesterday we had chocolate cake for breakfast and lunch and dinner. And if you're thinking about lunch already, then I know I am. We're going to take at John's lunchbox today.
Now, John works with Sport SG, and he's the one that roped us in. You'll actually find him on the John Young on Instagram. If you want to go and check out his lunch in closer detail, we'll get him to post it. But we thought we would get it out on camera. So today, John's lunch is an incredible looking aglio olio. Now, aglio olio, I think,
Isn't
is
it
actually
aglio olio?
Aglio olio? Yeah, I know, but like when you say it, then it kind of
You do it with an
aglio
accent.
Aglio olio. Yeah, okay, so essentially aglio olio is one of the hardest things to prepare because it is so simple, right? Like the pasta has to be specifically al dente. You need to have the right
What's
amount.
al dente?
Al dente is when it's like just firm.
Oh, not soft.
Yes,
Firm.
not too soggy. But the really cool thing about John's dish is that it was prepared by a neighbor. You can take a look at that. So for me, it's really important at this time especially to have that sort of kampong spirit. But obviously we don't live in kampongs, we all live in our HDBs or our little communities and neighborhoods. But a lot of people nowadays are actually, because we're all trying to either be on the Olympics or MasterChef, they're actually starting to cook.
Experimenting in the kitchen.
Yeah, we're experimenting in the kitchen and we're cooking more from home. As a result, people are actually substituting or supplementing income by cooking in bulk, which is economically more feasible and makes more sense, and actually cooking for other people as well so that they can get a little bit of income from the extra food that they make. Like this incredible bowl of aglio olio is only $6.
What?
Yeah.
Oh.
So for the amount of prawns, bacon, and additional
I
liao
don't think
that you're
that's
getting in
bacon.
there.
I think that's...
Well, there's garlic, but
Onions.
there's also bacon there.
Oh, okay.
But I also know of a few other people, like there's a guy on Instagram called Heikel, I think he is, and he makes the most amazing biryanis and stuff like that. So if you can support your local neighbors, your neighborhood people, your hawkers and all of that, then please try to do so. And make sure that you're keeping it local, because the less distance we have to travel for our food, the better. And obviously, we need to be staying closer to home.
If you have any suggestions on places or people who are cooking things around Bangkok, I would really appreciate it, because
You're running out of ideas.
we're running out of things to... I mean, Mum is a great cook.
Yeah.
I don't cook very much, but
You can tell.
There is-
She doesn't even know how to sharpen a knife.
It just so happened that the knife I picked this morning was slightly blunter because we haven't... Whatever, okay? This is not the conversation we're having right now. So, yeah, we're kind of running out of ideas. Like when we go and tapao stuff,
Yep.
there is literally one coffee shop that we go to down the road, and that's it. Or
Yeah.
it's Texas chicken,
Yeah.
which I don't really like. So, yeah, if you have any suggestions of the Bangkok area, I would really appreciate that, and so would Dad, for the days when none of us can be bothered to cook. Because we
Yeah.
have days like that.
It is true, and I think it's very important nowadays that as we are sourcing for different ideas, I mean, my biggest problem was always looking for things to tapao. Like it is the hardest thing to try and
It's the easiest and the
find
hardest.
things.
Like
Yeah.
there are so many things, but we kind of fall into this lump where, you know, it's when you go out as a couple and you're like, what do you want to eat? I was like, oh, I'll eat anything. Okay, how about this? No.
No, yeah.
So nothing quite hits the spot, and just having to constantly make that decision sometimes does get a little bit tiring. So hopefully you guys get some great inspiration on, you know, what you can potentially have for lunch and dinner. And I think in the weeks to come, I will try and make more things and experiment a little bit more, just with different things that you can, basically the idiot's guide to kitchen cooking.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's me.
Alrighty, well, I hope you guys have a better idea of what you can go and get for lunch. Now, obviously, if you can order from your neighborhood places, please try and do that. Otherwise, if you have suggestions, like we said, of places that you can go and get food, please drop us a comment on our Facebook page and let us know. Failing which, I've got some great ideas and suggestions for restaurants as well that are doing delivery. In fact, I'm getting an amazing meal delivered tomorrow, which I'm very excited for as well. Steak from Opus, the restaurant from the Hilton. For if you're looking to treat yourself
Fancy.
a little bit.
Fancy.
Yeah, just a little bit fancy, but you know, sometimes you want to have a nice dinner, right? So we're getting steak, lobster, and a couple of bottles of wine delivered, and I think it's just it's like $170 or something like that for that plus side dishes and what have you. So if you're having a meal for a few people, at least you know you've got some ideas. A couple of other restaurants that I know are doing really well in terms of
From them yesterday.
That's
so
right.
we had my birthday dinner at home over a massive Zoom call with a whole bunch of people, and we basically ordered about 90% of the menu from the masses. So we had a whole bunch of starters, a whole bunch of main courses, and that came up to, considering this is like prime fine dining type.
those though. Anyway, whilst we get all pensive about lunch, maybe it's about time for us to get pensive about life in general and maybe take pause on how we're doing today before we dive into the rest of it. So it's now time for us to zen out for a moment as we stop for our mindful moment.
All right, we're gonna slowly inhale through the nose. You're gonna feel the expansion in the chest. And then the belly also pushes forward, so both hands pushing forward. As you exhale, you feel the bottom hand pulling in first. And then the top arm starts to fall. Good. We're gonna try that one more time. Deep inhale, chest pushing forward. Belly pushes forward. And as you exhale, belly pulling in. And the chest falling. Keep the shoulders relaxed. Okay, now we're gonna do it. I'm gonna count down. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. And exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, do that one more time. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. And exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, you can relax your hands down by your knees. You can have your palms facing down or up. And feel free to continue doing this with me with your eyes closed, all right? I'm going to start to change the counting sequence. So we're going to inhale for 4, and we're going to exhale for 6 this time round. All right, together, let's inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. And exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. One more time. In, 4, 3, 2, 1. And out, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Continue on your own as I slowly start to change the pacing. Okay, we're going to inhale for 4 counts next time, and this time when we exhale, it will be for 8 counts, helping us to lengthen the exhales to relax the body a little bit more. Okay, so let's exhale all the air out from our lungs. We're going to do it together. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1, and exhale slowly for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Continue. In 4, 3, 2, 1. And out. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In 4, 3, 2, 1. Out. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Continue on your own. You can return back to your normal breathing if you want to, but focus on breathing deep down into your belly. Whenever you're doing this on your own, if you find that 4 counts and 8 counts is too much, you can always adjust the counts. But if you keep the exhales a little longer, it helps to relax the body a little bit more. And once in a while when you practice this, it helps you to just turn your attention inward and focus a little bit more on your breath. Use it to calm your body down. And every time you exhale, just visualize the relaxation of your face, your shoulders, and your legs. All right? Thank you.
Okay, so do you want some help putting it on your foot?
Little wind down. Now, on our Facebook page, we do actually have a comment that was said, I think there are a lot more people in the world than coaches and athletes whose lives are negatively disrupted because of COVID-19. Sports is good for health, but at the end of the day, it's just entertainment. Spare a thought for others too.
I think,
now,
JC, I'd like to address this because
yes.
I think it's important to note that everybody has actually been impacted by COVID-19. I don't think anyone sees this as an incredibly positive situation. I think there are a lot of different movements from a lot of different industries that have been affected. I mean, Barbara and I, for example, were affected within the events industry because there are 0 events. So there are a lot of people that I know of that around event support which don't have jobs, and everyone's trying to adapt, everybody's trying to pivot.
Correct.
And I think, if anything, this entire situation, I think what Lim Tong Hai was trying to illustrate as well, was that everybody is trying to pivot and everybody is trying to do whatever they can to make the best of the situation, taking programs online for a lot of the event support staff. They're getting odd jobs, they're becoming delivery guys, they're doing whatever they can to try and make ends meet.
So at the end of the day, we bring people on, we have chats, we get different perspectives from different people so that everyone is aware about how they are being impacted in this entire situation, how we're trying to make the most of it, you know, silver lining and all that. And JC did say that, you know, sports is good for health, but then at the end of the day, it's just entertainment. I do beg to disagree and differ with that statement because it is a livelihood for a lot of people. Mm-hmm. You know, sports is a big thing in our day and age and has been for years and years and years. And I think it's crucial to empathize that everyone is going through a tough time, and we can just really be here to support each other and gain a little bit of perspective.
And speaking of tough times, all you people who are in long-distance relationships, we know that you guys are struggling a little bit. So make sure you join us on the show tomorrow because we've got Carla Donoriano, who's been in a long-distance relationship way before COVID-19 hit. So she's going to be sharing with us her expertise and her insights on how to make it work. We've also got lots more workouts coming your way as well this afternoon.
This afternoon, we've got a lean out with House Athletics. The good guys from there will be taking you through a solid sweat session. Mm-hmm. We've also got What You're Cooking at 4 p.m. with Ben Logan.
And don't forget, we've also got Stephanie Bovis, who'll be stretching us out in style tomorrow on the show at 10 o'clock. But like we said, bodyweight workouts first thing tomorrow morning with Cheryl as well.
Oh, that's amazing. If you've got any questions that you want to ask either of our guests who are coming in tomorrow, drop us a line, drop us a text, drop us a comment in the Facebook, and then we can be sure to make sure your question goes through to them personally.
Well, thanks so much for joining us for day 4 of the morning show with Kelly and Barbara. Make sure that you guys are staying safe and staying at home.